All right, look, like my hand to God, like I'm saying, if I got it right in the end of that, like this sort of long one I just made, like my hand to God, like if I have it, if I'm saying I saw some encouragement, did you like me to try to say that succinctly? The video I made that I just made like was like sort of step one in like trying to see if I could. That was the way to start. What I received a packet from my private health insurer that's much like a variety of different things the private insurers are doing. Um, but like what it amounted to is this, but I know why it's happening if I got it right. Okay, what they actually sent me, okay, is a very long, very comprehensive, really comprehensive. They said they put a lot of thought into doing that, and it's something that I think other health insurers are like using the same model. When reading it over with time, the covering letter, the information, okay, everything in it, right? I mean, if you didn't have time, what they're doing, what it basically says is it's as though they're saying this, although you think this would be logically like flawed, but this is why it would make sense. But it is what the private insurers. If is it my the amount of thought that went into that, they're essentially saying it's as though they're saying we want to send you all the information you will need to enter in to the state exchanges that have been set up under the Affordable Health Care Act. We want to make sure we send you all the documents you need and make you aware of all the things you will need to do to enroll in these public exchanges. But that's initially why would they do that? It's as though they're saying we no longer want you as a customer, and we want to make this an easy process for you by making sure you have the proper documentation, and they go into explanations of how what will be best for you. Here the documents you need. They're writing something that's very comprehensive, but what they're essentially saying is this is what you'll need when you leave our private insurer and enter into the public exchanges. A very strange thing to say. They make their profits off customers like me. But the wording involves word combinations like, we want to make you aware that unless you read this thoroughly and sign up for the public exchange, you won't have any health coverage. It's as though they're saying, well, see, we're very concerned because you see, okay, it is though they're presupposing you'll be leaving them as a customer, and they're very cautious to send you all the documentation. But remember, you see, if you don't fulfill this, but if you don't get this all done and do this the right way, you will no longer have health coverage. It's very surreal that not only they're sort of saying it's as though they're assuming you no longer want to be their customer, and the wording is threatening in the sense that they're saying you do realize that unless you do this, you will no longer have health coverage. But it doesn't say we're canceling you, but it's as though it's presupposed you'll be leaving them. They're making money off me as a customer. They're helping me go into the state exchange. But as the wording goes on, it's very cleverly worded to indicate that the reason for this, like as though they're telling you, well, see, you're going to be leaving our insurance company. We want to make sure that, but the reason is because of the existence of the Affordable Care Act. But you see, it has they're helping you understand the Affordable Health Care Act, but here's the paperwork you need. You won't be penalized for a pre-existing condition if you. They're assisting you in leaving them as a customer, but also putting statements in like, you do realize if you don't do this, you won't have any health insurance when you leave us. Okay, that's a very frightening but also surreal letter to get. Why would they do that? Here's why they're doing it. But they're doing it in different ways, okay? But this is a really well thought out thing they're doing. So why would they want it? They're basically telling their customers something that doesn't make any sense and helping them to do it, but indicating this is happening because of the Affordable Health Care Act. What they're doing is this. When Obama brought out his health care program and an economist's book, they said, well, what this will do by creating affordable health care for people, affordable health care for those who simply can't afford it, but also for people who are like paying very high premiums. What the existence of it will do, because there's an affordable option for people, is then the private insurers will have to compete for business with an affordable program. So prices will go down. See, it'll create a competitive. Right now, the health insurers have it monopolized. There aren't that many of these large corporations that could provide, that kind of, it's not a business in which there's small mom and pop, things. No. These are large corporations. So in that sense, they have a monopoly over the healthcare industry. It's why they charge so much. But now that there's affordable health care, they are aware that they will certainly. It's not gonna. In reality, it's not gonna make them compete. What it is they're aware that they don't wanna. They will be losing many customers because there's an affordable option. So what they're doing is they've designed a comprehensive letter that's very alarming to get it, but with sort of a small population of people that each of the private insurers takes care of, being sent such a disturbing letter that's almost indicating you have no choice but to go into the exchanges. What they'll do is it's worth doing. Why would they lose? They want to give up a customer who's paying? No, it's a calculated thing. They want to threaten people in this way because what it'll do is it will create an immediate political backlash against the Affordable Health Care Act. Right. What will be accomplished is they're waging a war on there ever being an affordable option, and it's worth it to do this to a bunch of their customers, because even if their customers, like in my case, the attorney sent it to a consultant to try to understand, even if that's happening, in the meantime, it will create so much fear and hostility to whatever is happening that they've made very complicated. But the main point is, because of the Affordable Health Care Act, you will be leaving us. We don't want you as a customer. That's okay. Here's what you'll need to sign up, and this is happening because of it. So it's worth doing that to a certain segment of their customers, even if they lose a lot of them, because it will create such hostility and anger and paranoia of why this is happening that it will create a major political backlash against the Affordable Health Care Act. And if they can get rid of it, there will be no affordable option, and they'll still have the market monopolized. That is, they're not going to compete with it. They're going to do something that's basically, in some sense, a political weapon, where they're ramping up the population into hostility that's irrational against affordable health care. If they can get rid of it, then the majority of their customers will remain. They'll get back the old ones, and there'll be nothing to compete with them, and their insane prices. That's what they're actually doing. That's what we perceive based on the packet I received.